Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington. And this is Live Talk. I am Kip Stube.
And I'm Marvelous Mhlanga-Nyahuye, broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
This evening, we are talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, voter registration in Zimbabwe, and other issues.
And speaking about COVID-19, Zimbabwe's Ministry of Health reports that 687,321 people have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine under phase 2 of the program, and more than 300,080 have received their second dose of the same vaccine.
The ministry also reports that 39,189 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Zimbabwe since March last year. Nearly 37,000 people have recovered, and 1,606 have succumbed to the COVID-19 disease.
In other issues that broke over the weekend, a prominent evangelist, Temitope Baluguni Joshua, popularly known as TB Joshua, died at the weekend, according to ABC, CNN, and the Washington Post. VOA Lingala and other media entities say TB Joshua, as he was affectionately known, died Saturday in Nigeria. He is the founder of the mega church Synagogue Church. He died at the age of 57.
And the second baby for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is officially here. Meghan gave birth to a healthy girl on Friday. A spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan said on Sunday, the couple welcomed their child, Lilibet Lily Diana, Mountbatten, Windsor. Her first name, Lilibet, is a nod to Her Majesty the Queen's nickname. Her middle name is in honor of her grandmother and Harry's mother. The baby is the 8th in line to the British throne.
Back to Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, voter registration continues amid reports that few people are registering to vote. That's one of our topics tonight. As we said earlier on, we'll also be looking at COVID-19 and other related issues.
Yewambe mahlabezulu njani lapha khona endaweni zonke zomhlaba ezijiyeneyo. Namhlanje ke sibamba lapha siyaqalisa ke COVID-19. Lapha sibona khona ukuthi kulabantu asebefika 687,321 asebehlatshwe kokuqala ijekiseni yokuvikela kumkhuhlane we-COVID-19. Kuthi abangu 380,786 sebehlatshwe okwesibili. Siyabona ukuthi ke i-Ministry of Health yabika njalo ukuthi kulabantu abayi 39,189 asebetholakele bele COVID-19 kwele Zimbabwe kusukela ngoMbimbithi nyakenye. Bese kusithi kunani leli kulabantu 36,728 asebaphepha kumkhuhlane we-COVID-19, kuthi abayi 1,606 ngabantu abasebabulawa umkhuhlane lo. Nxa sisikhangela njalo ke uTB Joshua abaningi liyamazi, siyakhumbula ke ekhulekela abantu abaningi kakhulu, abanye badabuka eZimbabwe, abanye badabuka endaweni ezijiyeneyo, ikasekho ke sokuthiwa ke ubhubhe ngesonto khona ngale ke kule Nigeria. Abantu abaningi mavela siyakwazi ukuthi bebemlandela kakhulu uTB Joshua ngakho konke lokhu akwenzayo. Siyabona ke i-ABC, i-CNN, i-Washington Post, VOA Lingala labanye ke ababika imbiko bathi ke uTB Joshua ukanya ebhubhe ngomgqibelo khona ngale kule Nigeria. Siyakwazi ukuthi ke wayele mega church synagogue akade lapho etshengisa khona abantu kumabona kude ukuthi kukhulekwa kanjani, njalo nxa sezimkhuleko abantu bayikhangele baze betsho abakutshoyo. Sikhangele njalo ke kwele Britane ngapha ke siyakwazi ukuthi kulo Meghan lo Prince Harry asebehlala khonapha kwele Melika, ukhanya sebelomntwana. Umntwana lo ke ubizwa kuthiwa nguLilibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor. So ke ukuthi Lilibet lokhu nickname kagogo is Queen Elizabeth. Bese kusithi ke okunye kwangikhona ukuthi Diana lapha phela unina kajaha. So ke ukanyazani babonga kakhulu abazali labokhokho khonapho. Bese kusithi ke eZimbabwe siyabona ukuthi voter registration ubhalisela ukuvota uqhubekela phambili. So ke abantu marvelous bayakhuthazwa ukuthi bayebhalisela ukuvota ngoba ukuvota kuqakathekile okunye waza ukubona. so nxa abantu bengasavotanga khanya kulenkinga kunjalo Marvelous.
Aiwa kunawo vachangobva kupinda muchirongwa chedu tinokuchingamidzai nemufaro nhasi muvhuro June 7, 2021. Nhasi pachirongwa cheLivetalk tiri kutarisa isu pamusoro pedenda rechirwere cheCOVID-19. Titarisa zvakare zviri kubuda panyaya yekushaya kwemuparidzi ane mukurumbira vaTB Joshua kuNigeria. Izvo takanzwa kuti zvakaitika paweekend iyoyi. Uyezve titarisa kuti mwana waPrince Charles Harry nemudzimai wake Meghan vakawanikwa ivo vachiwanikwa vachibatsirwa nemwana musikana wechipiri. Vakamupa zita nickname yaQueen rekuti Lilibet kana kuti Lily, vachizotora zvakare zita rambuya vake kusaidi kwababa wake Harry rekuti Diana. Princess Diana vaimbova vari mukadzi waPrince Charles. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatiri kutarisa. Tichatarisa zvakare gadziriro yenyaya yekuvhota, tichitarisa kuti tinoona kuti mapato akasiyana-siyana vatotanga ivo kuti 2023 vanenge vakamirira kuti vachida kuti mapato avo awanikwe achikunda musarudzo dzinoitwa munyika. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatichange tiri kutarisa, tisingakanganwe zvakare kuti bazi rezveutano pari zvino riri kuzivisa kuti riri paphase 2 yekubaya vanhu nhomba dzeCOVID-19, uye pari zvino pane vanhu 687,321 vakabayiwa first dose yenhomba yeCOVID-19. Kozoya vanhu 380,000 vakawanikwa vachibayiwa nhomba yechipiri. Tozotarisa zvakare kuti vanhu vabatwa neCOVID-19 kubvira denda iri ratanga muna March gore rapfuura vasvika ivo toti vakatesta positive vachinzi vakabatwa nechirwere ichi vasvika pa39,181. Tozotarisa zvakare kuti 37,000 yevanhu ava vakabatwa neCOVID-19 asi vakakunda denda iri. Asi kune vamwewo vakawanikwa vachirasikirwa neupenyu vamira vari pa1,606 vachishaya kubva kudenda iri reCOVID-19. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatange tiri kukurukura ipo pano nevanyarikani vedu. Gibbs.
Yes, Marvelous. Before we go into some of these most topical issues, let's look at what people are doing during this COVID pandemic. So we know that people are struggling to make ends meet, and we've got some who are working as usual. Like in Cholocho, as Jesus Panda actually visited that place last week, and we met with various people, including this lady who actually cooks a lot of food at Cholocho Business Center. She cooks some angina, she cooks some offals, she cooks lots of stuff. So let's listen to what the lady said about what she's doing at Cholocho Center. Here she comes.
Wenza laba kokumandlovu niyapheka uphekela bani
uphekela nje abantu nje ukuziphilisa abantwana.
Okay, so lapho utsho uphekela abantu bathenga kodwa
Hayi bathenga mpela bathenga.
Kukhulunywa ngenhloko lapho kwanhloko la
kwanhloko la mathumbu nje ukubona nje lamangqina asesele yiwo lawa. Senza konke nje rice, beans,
lapho eCholocho.
Lapho eCholocho.
Abathenga kakhulu ngabanjani la?
Hayi lapha kuthenga ngaphakathi nje
so abantu abavakashela eCholocho kumele babuye ngaphi ishop yakuthi?
Kuthiwa kusiza abantu shop for charity GR.
Okay, yiko babuya khona la.
Yiko abazabe bezokudla khona la.
Ufundele ngabe upheka la ngembizi ka?
Ukupheka lokho ngiqale ngikufundele lapha endala kulawa. Ngasuka ngaye eGoli futhi ngafika ngale ngapheka kakhulu ihloko ngifundele eGoli.
Ubuye ngaba bijana kodwa abantu bakubone kuhle.
Ngipheka lapha eduze leCity Deep egarage okuthiwa yiShell garage.
Yikupheka khona.
Yibe bempheka khona.
Wasuphendwa ubuye ekhaya.
Izimo zokuphila ngasengathi kuba nzinyana ngasengithi ngcono ngizozama ekhaya.
Kodwa ibhizinisi ikhona?
Hayi ibhizinisi ikhona angikhali.
Awukhali. Abadla bamabhasi labantu abadlulayo.
Kudla wonke umuntu lapha nje wonke umuntu nje okhululekile wamkelekile.
So ufundisile labanye ukupheka njalo upheka nga phela abantu bakubabaza lapha eCholocho ngeke.
Hayi kupheka siyapheka mpela. Siyapheka kwedla.
So ishop yakho itholakala nga?
Itholakala eRekine eduze nama-toilet kuthiwa koGR.
KoGR.
Abaningi bathi ngamuva ngale kitchen. Kuze kwecar wash. Nomntanami nami sondela.
Oh, umntana wakho lwana?
Umntana wami lwana sipheka sonke.
Lipheka lonke la. Hayi no.
So sabona kungcono ukuthi sizame ukuziphilisa khona.
Siyabona.
Bese sicupha lokho kuncane sikudobhile kaze kukuningi.
Siyabona.
So marvelous, that is Mandlovu. She's cooking a lot of things, you know, cow heads, cow hoofs, beans, meat, everything. You can get it under that little roof. You know, she's doing a wonderful job there.
I heard her explaining that she used to be working in South Africa, but now she has started a business there in Zimbabwe. Very interesting indeed.
Yeah, very interesting. She started at Rankini bus terminus in Bulawayo, and then went to Johannesburg, and then came back home. You know, she maybe had some challenges in Johannesburg, and had to go back home. And she says people love that place, you know, thanks to Ezra Chisa Esbanda, who was talking to the lady. So now back to our discussion today. We're talking about voter registration. It seems as if many people are not registering to vote. You know, I was talking to people in a program that I've been doing, you know, here, Zimbabwe Today, as Clean. So some youths were saying they're not going to register because they don't have any kind of, you know, belief that there could be fair, free, and credible elections in Zimbabwe. And most of them are now working in South Africa, and they're saying, you know, they won't vote. So, but the bottom line is, if they don't vote, then somebody else will be voted into power, and they'll start complaining after the elections. So that was our discussion, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm happy that we've got Mr. Joseph Chuma, who is a ZANU-PF Central Committee member. Mr. Chuma was the MP for Pelandaba Bopoma. So now we're glad that he's around. So welcome to the program, Mr. Chuma. Welcome, Mr. Chuma. Can you hear me?
Yes, James, how are you? Good evening, Zimbabwe. Good evening, Marvelous. Good evening, everyone else who is in this panel.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. So the first question is, what's going on with the registration? Because some people are not registering to vote. There seems to be a problem.
Yes, James, definitely there is a problem. People are just not registering to vote as per expectation. I suppose maybe also other people do not understand the importance of actually, because that is your right that you need to exercise in choosing who is going to lead you in the next 5 years in whatever leadership capacity, be it councillor, be it member of parliament, or even the president himself or herself. So I think they need to definitely carry out more and more voter education to have people understand why it is important for them to register to vote. Another thing that I think we also need to really look into is to say the statistics that we have, that is, if you understand that a constituency, the limitation exercise is going to be determined by, say, maybe 30,000 voters in that particular area. Maybe it's time that we really look at it and say, do we have the kind of people that we're talking about in those particular areas, or we are talking of numbers that we probably had, and most of them probably now are no longer around that area. They've probably gone to other greener pastures and stuff like that. We know, like here in Bulawayo, most people would go down south to South Africa to try and make a living over there. So those are the kind of things that we need to now sit down as stakeholders and talk about and see, and also while we definitely carry out more voter education to the people, for them to understand why they have to be registered to vote.
Yeah, Baba Chuma, siyakuzwa kakhulu ke. Sicela uphinde khonokho ngesindebele ngamafutshane baba.
Ngiyabonga Mthembo. Right, bengikhuluma ngisithi kona kuyadanisa sibili ukubona inani labantu abahambayo besiya balisa ukubana bebe ngamavota lincane kakhulu kulalokho besikucabangela ukubana kuzenzakala. Konke usuka ucabangela ukuthi mhlawumbe abantu maybe abanye abazwisisi isidingo sokubana bahambe beyoregister ukuba ngamavota ukuthi singaphi kahle kahle ngoba abantu bengakuzwisisa khona kubanza abakwazi ubana nxa umuntu engarejistanga ukuvota ngalalo ilungelo lona lelo elokukhetha ozamela kumbe kusekhansilini ozamela kumbe kuseparlamenti kumbe ozamela e-ofisini yona ngwayo eqakathekileyo ekamongameli welizwe. So konke lokho abantu kumele sibafundise bakufunde. Kodwa sikhona apho futhi Mthembo enye into mina sengifuna ukunanzelela lapha yikuthi mhlawumbe silokhu sifaka inani eliphezulu kakhulu elingayenziyo sisithi thina ama-constituency ethu lawa afunakala ukuthi abe nabantu abangaka. For example lapha kade I think ukuthi more than 26,000 or 30,000 khonapho ngiyabona omele bekhona abantu. Kodwa ukanti-ke kahle kahle sibili esigabeni sona lezo babe ngekho abantu abanelisa ukufika kuyona le inani. So into kumele sizihlalele phansi zona lezo njengabantu aba-involved into leyo lokwana kuthiwa ngesikhiwa ama-stakeholders yithi ama-political parties malokuzeni amanye ama-civic organizations angabe ekhona ukuthi sihlale phansi sibone sihlale ukona sixotsha empalangaki lapha kunjalo lezo mali esixotshayo siyazibona na konke lokho kuphume egcekeni ukubana sibe kwazi ukona sivela ngaphi siya ngaphi. Kodwa ungawukhangela inani labantu abahambayo besiya-register ukuvota hayi kuyadanisa ngempela.
Marvelous.
Vachuma mungati tsananguro here kuti zvakamira sei kubato renyu reZANU-PF panyaya yekuti vanhu vawanikwe vachinyoresa kuvhota. Tinoona kuti mutori wenhau Hope Ching'ono ane kampeni yake yaari kuita achiedza kukwezva vechidiki nyanya kuti vaende kunovhota. Imi kuZANU-PF uku zvakamira sei?
Kubato redu kuno kuZANU-PF especially kuno kubulawayo at the moment tiri kuita zviya zvokumutsidzira mamasel edu tichiona kuti mamembers edu aripo here and uyezve kana aripo akarejista here kuvhota. Saka tinozviita izvo cell by cell, district by district tichinyatsoda kuongorora kuti munhu wese anoti inhengo yeZANU-PF akajoina musangano ane kodzero rokuvhota here nekuti game irika igame rekuvhoterana at the end of the day. Kana tiri mupolitics tinonyanyotarisa kuti by the end of the day tichagona kuvhotegwa kuti tihwine masitsi mukanzuru muparliament kana even siti yapresident chaiyo. So tiri kukurudzira vanhu chaizvo every day kuti tinyatsoona tichimeka sure kuti nhengo dzedu dzese dziri registered to vote.
So let's bring in Mr. Nkosinathi Hlase. Cela uvaleke khonapho babachuma ibutton yakho. So Mr. Hlase, welcome to the program, sir.
Siyabonga Baba Dube. How are you and the listeners?
No, everyone is well. Tell us why are you not registering to vote?
No, I did not say actually I'm not registering to vote, but like as a young people, we have lost hope in the system. The system has failed us for many years actually. So, but I would like to encourage people, if possible, especially young people, they must go and register to vote. I'm also preparing to go down there in 1st of August. I will try and register if they are still if kusavulekile at that time.
Yeah, akusitshele sibili sibona ngazana abantu abaningi abasakhulayo abanjengawe baba. Kabafuna ukuthi babhalisele ukuvota kuhamba njani?
Yeah, khona lokho engicede ukusho ukuthi firstly abantu abasha abaningi abafundiswanga mhlawumbe ngathi they are not acquainted with kumbe abayazi nje ipurpose yokuthi yokuvota ukuthi ngiyani, because mangibheka ekakhulukazi la eLupane la ngibuya khona ngithola ukuthi nje abantu abaningi intsha yalaphana ayazi lutho ngokuvota. So ngibona ngathi labo abaphethe ezokuvota okokuqala nje they need ukuthi bafundise abantu first, then bengafundiswa ke abantu bazobakwazi ke ukuthi what is the purpose of voting and nokuthi ivote yakho iyakhawunta noma uyi-1 it means something.
Yeah, kodwa kukhanya ngazani njengoba usitsho ukuthi abantu ngana bakwazi ukuthi kunceda ngani khonokho. Pho kuyini okwenza ukuthi wena bekukhange ukuthi uyebhalisela ukuvota? Kuyini okwabasibili okwabanika idlamuzana?
Into engamotivate abantu ukuthi bavote angazi ukuthi kungaba yini ngoba njengamanje asisekho emakhaya sisukile sazozama impilo engcono kwezinye indawo, so ukuthi sihlangane sonke sikwazi ukuthi simotivatane. Angazi ukuthi mhlawumbe mangaba nama platform la where we can talk about these things, discuss ngazo, abantu bafundiswa ukuthi iyona indlela abangayenza ngayo ushintsho ekhaya, ushintsho emuva uma ngabe befuna ukuthi kube noshintsho, ngoba uma sihlele sithi asivote we are giving other party a free card ukuthi iqhubeke. Kanti masifuna ukwenza ushintsho we have to stand up and sikube khona esikwenzayo. So unless if singaba ne platform where we can talk about this, discuss and sifundisane, ngicabanga ukuthi yiyo indlela engamotivate especially the youth.
So what type of platforms are you talking about here in English? Can you put it across to say platforms like this, that and that, you know?
The first platform UNLS is Kuluma right now is Studio 7 is the first platform. Secondly, we can have a platform on Facebook. Ngiyabona nje sekakhona lawo ma platform ama groups ku Facebook, kuma WhatsApp and other social media platforms. Ngicabanga ukuthi yona angasisiza ekuthenini si motivate abantu abasha.
Yes, siyawuzwa kakhulu bamba khonapho ke. Marvelous, there you are. So all what this gentleman is saying is that you know, they've given up in terms of voting, you know. And so but she wants to go and register sometime in August.
Okay.
But she's saying that the majority of youth seems they're not interested.
Okay.
So he says maybe there could be some platforms where, you know, these people can be reached, you know. Yeah.
Apo tiri kunzwa wechidiki achitaura iye pamusoro pekunyoresa kuvhota achiti dai paine maplatforms anoshandiswa kuitira kuti vanhu vapuwe dzidziso. Asi tiri ipapo ndakwanisa kuwana vaClifford Hlachwayo veMDC Alliance regai timbonzwa kwavari kuti ivo bato ravo reMDC Alliance pane zvariri kuita here mukuedza kukwezva vanokwanisa kunge vachizovhota muelection iri kuuya. VaHlachwayo muri kutinzwa here?
Okay.
Alright, but isusu tiri kukunzwai. Saka taurai henyu kuti pane zviri kuitwa nebato renyu here mukuedza kukwezva vanhu kuti vawanikwe vachinyoresa kuvhota?
Chakakosha chinofanira kutanga kuziva vana veZimbabwe ndechekuti nyaya yekuvhota haisi yezvematongerwo enyika, inyaya yeupenyu hwevanhu, inyaya yekusimudzira nyika yedu, nekuti kuvhota kuri kuviri, vanopinda mubaloti vachiisa X nevaya vasikaendi kumba, vasikaendi kundovhota vacho.
Saka zvakamira zvakadaro zvii zviri kuitwa neMDC Alliance mukuedza kuti vanhu vakwanise kunyoresa?
Tiri kukurudzira vana veZimbabwe nyika yese kuti vanyorese, nekuti kunyoresa kuvhota kunoitwa nguva dzese. Ndokunga munoziva chirongwa chitakatanga chakaparurwa naPresident chamisa cheCitizen Convergence for Change chiri kuitwa kuma constituencies kwese, kuma branches kwese, kwemisangano, kuma townships kwakawanda. Donzvo riripo nderekukurudzira vana veZimbabwe vatore chidanho chavo chinova chekuti varegister kuvhota vazokwanisa kuvhota. Zvakawanda, it's a basket full of activities tiri kuita kwese, hapana kusara, hapana watiri kusiya kwese, kumaruzevha, kumadhorobha, kumaprazi, kumamines kwese tiri kusvika tichikurudzira vana veZimbabwe kuti vanyorese kuvhota. asi chakakosha ndechekuti vazive kuti vari kuvhoterei. Haisi nyaya yekungovhota vasaziva vanoda kuvhoterei kana vari kunyoresere chii. Inyaya yeupenyu hwavo, inyaya yeZimbabwe, nyika yedu tese takabatana nekukosha kwevhoti, kuti kana tikavhota tine uwandu wedu tinoita kuti zvinhu zvifambe zvakanaka muZimbabwe.
Maybe if you can give us in English before I let you go. I can see the network is coming in and out. In case we lose you, what is your party's stance right now when it comes to trying to lure voters to go and register? What plans do you have in place?
We have a basket full of activities. We've rolled out many programs, many activities within Zimbabwe and even outside Zimbabwe. As you know, we are campaigning for the diaspora vote. We are carrying out a lot of activities in branches in our constituencies, encouraging people to register to vote. But the main thing that the people of Zimbabwe must know is that the elections voting is not a political thing, but it is a national development agenda. It is a national development activity whereby all citizens must participate. That's why President Nelson Chamisa launched our program, the CCC, the Citizens Convergence for Change. That's where we say, as citizens, let's converge, let's come together, let's do something that will bring change to Zimbabwe. And we as the MDC, we believe that the elections are one of the democratic means that will bring change, that will bring in a new Zimbabwe, and making sure that all Zimbabweans they participate in that process.
What about the issue of electoral reforms? Because we saw Pollard last week or so, they were at a meeting somewhere in Nyanga saying that they were discussing the issue of electoral reforms. What programs do you have in place right now to engage ZANU-PF or the government in terms of electoral reforms?
Pollard is just a grouping. I think you saw them in Nyanga. They were just enjoying taxpayers' money. It's a grouping of failed politicians, a grouping of politicians that have lost confidence within the electorate. What is very important, I think you have seen and read about our statement that was issued yesterday at a press conference by Secretary for Elections, Councillor Ian Makone and Ellen Shigerenga, whereby we were stating clearly the reforms that we are pursuing, the reforms that Zimbabwe must take. It's very important for us to have an election without a contestable result, an election whereby a winner, will be congratulated by everyone, whereby every participant, has equal opportunities, has equal chances, has equal chances to be on ZBC, on all public media, whereby the security services are protecting everyone, also not involved in any political activities, including traditional leaders, respecting our traditional leaders, not abusing state institutions, including the civil servants, including the courts, including all those things. What we want at the end of the day is to have an election, that is peaceful, an election that is credible, an election, that will usher in as a new government, a government that is agreed upon by all Zimbabweans, not a government of a certain sector, a certain section of the community. But
Marvelous, do these guys have,
they are
confidence in the system?
They are critical in terms of us moving forward as Zimbabwe. Because we are at this juncture where this Kwaguma, we are facing all these challenges, all these problems because of legitimate crisis, because of elections that have been stolen day in, day out, that has been stolen, the people's victory that has been stolen by Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF.
Please hold on, Gibbs. I think you had a question. If you can say it again.
The question is, do they have confidence in the electoral system?
Gibbs is just saying, do you as MDC Alliance have confidence in the electoral system right now?
That's why we are saying we want reforms. Reforms, because confidence is not all about us as leaders of MDC, but as Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans, they don't have confidence in the electoral system. That's why we are saying as citizens, we are converging. reforms is one of the issues that we are converging as citizens of Zimbabwe. So we are speaking with one voice that there must be reforms before any election, because the reforms are the ones that will make sure that every participant, including voters and the voters, you know, and those who want to be voted, they will be their vote will be secured, because we want the security of the voter, the security of the vote before, during, and after the process. So what we want is to have that confidence that you are asking. That confidence is the one that must be brought by the reforms, and we are going to push. We are going to push for reforms. And the electoral body must be independent. It must be run by professionals, not securocrats, not be run by a card-carrying member of other political parties. You know, we need we need a body that runs elections properly. We need a voters' roll that allows everyone who attains 18 years, you know, to be on the voters' roll, to be allowed to vote. Because registration must not be of those people who can afford to go to their district offices to check the IDs and so forth. Because if you go to rural areas, you go to Pras and so forth, even here in most of my towns, a lot of people, they are failing to get documents, the registration documents, the IDs, the birth certificates and so forth. Because ZANU-PF has made it difficult, has made it become a prestigious, you know, a prestigious thing to have an ID document. Yet it must be a basic thing. Everyone must have a birth certificate, everyone must have an ID, and everyone who attains 18 years must be on the voters' roll. It must be automatic. So those are some of the reforms that we are advocating for. As we are approaching by-elections, that must come anytime soon. We are saying we must have a voter registration process, a voter registration blitz.
I think Gibbs had a question.
Yeah, no. Let's
before
do
the
this.
Limitation, there must be a registration.
Hold him there. Hold him there. Hold him there.
Because we
Hold him there.
have other guests, so just give us a minute. We'll come back to you. But
Yes.
I'll ask you to just remain quiet for a little bit. Go ahead, Gibbs.
Yes, Mr. Chuma, can you react to what Mr. Tlachwa is saying? You know, he's making all the accusations, saying that you guys are to blame for all this before we go to Mr. Busani Busontin. So go ahead, Mr. Chuma.
Thank you very much, James. And I was listening to my brother Clifford. Unfortunately, as expected, we are still dwelling in that politics of trying to blame each other and call each other names, things that I don't think are actually necessary. You see, it's like in our party as well as we speak, we have been trying to encourage people to register to vote, and we've been trying to help people also to acquire these documents, the IDs and the IDs and birth certificates and stuff like that. And you know, most of the times, I being a former member of parliament, I've been actually involved hands-on with the issue of birth certificates and IDs for a lot of people. And one thing that I noticed is that people do things out of the ordinary, and then they expect things to be smooth, which is something that is probably not possible all the time, but I think that can be fixed anyway. Like, for example, in this part of the country, you actually have a lot of people giving birth to their children, probably in South Africa. And then they smuggle them into Zimbabwe, and there's no documentation whatsoever. And then it becomes difficult now to trace where exactly that child would have been born and where those papers are and stuff like that. And then it becomes difficult to then issue a birth certificate just like that. That is why then there's now need to have like the elders coming in, like maybe the mother, the grandmother, the grandfather from both sides of the child. And now you also find that maybe that child, the mother is the only known person there. The father is unknown totally. And so it becomes so difficult. So some people create problems and then they want to blame people at the end of the day. But all the same government tries by all means to then what? To rectify such things and help people to then acquire. So for anybody to say that ZANU-PF is hindering people from getting birth certificates and IDs is very naive, actually, and frivolous. We also want these people to be registered because the chances are they can vote for us as well, because we are also a political party. We are out persuading as well, as much as the MDC alliance is also out persuading. So the jinx of the matter here, Gibbs, is that let us stop trying to always blame each other or score political points out of nothing. Let us go out there, educate people, and assist people where they need to be assisted, and simple, and we get this process going. Votes have never been stolen from the MDC alliance at all. The problem that I can tell you is simple. There are people that go into this game and expect just one answer and one result, and that result is they can only be the winners. Once they are not the winners, then there is a problem. I was beaten here in Kalanda Mapopoma in Bulawayo. I was the sitting member of parliament, and when elections came, Charles Moyo beat me, and I accepted that and said, "Well, fair and fine. Congratulations, Charles Moyo. It's your turn now. I will assist you whenever and wherever you want me to be of assistance." That is how politics should be, and that is how MDC should be doing. They've said quite well. They came up with a good challenge, but then they lost. They must simply admit that, and we move on, and we get out of this political gear that we keep on going on, which deters development at the end of the day. We want people that lose gracefully and win gracefully too. It's as simple as all that.
Vachuma mombotaura izvozvo neshona tisati tadzokera kuna vahlatywayo nokuti foni yavo vakuda kuti tizokata. Munoti nezvataurwa navahlatywayo veMDC Alliance.
Ndatenda zvikuru ndawanzwa mukoma wangu echitaura ndangozongoti ndofunga ndomagariro avo ekuti vanogara vachida kungoshoropodza, vanogara vachida kungoti zvinhu zvese ZANU-PF yadai ZANU-PF yadai. Inini pachangu ndikuona kunge tasvika pachinhano chekuti ngatibudei panyaya idzodzo dzokutadza kutoleratana isusu semapati akasiyana siyana. ZANU-PF sebatowo naro riri kuda kuti dai vanhu vese varejista kuti vavhote. Tinobatsira chaizvo, tinogara tichibatsira kuti vanhu vawane zvinofanirwa kuwanikwa, mabirth certificate nezvitupa kuti vagone kurejista. Hatingambofa tavharira vanhu kudzivirira vanhu kuti vagone kuita zvinhu zvakadaro izvo, nekuti isusuwo tiri bato rikutobuda panze tichinyengererawo mavhoti wavo. Saka tikavavharira pamwe vanhu ivavo vaigona kutizovhotera isusu totaita sei. Saka hatipo pakuti titadzise vanhu kuti vagone kuti vawane mapepa avo akakwana. Nhanjitopa maexamples munomblowa kwandiri kuno. Tinowana zvikurusa vana vedu, vana vasikana vanobuda vaenda kuSouth Africa uko, wonoita mwana ikoko, wozouya naye kuno nana Malaicha. Hakuna kana documentation yekuchipatara, hakuna kana pepa riripi, murume wacho haasi kutomuzikanwa kuti ari kupi. Saka zvinobva zvaremera vanhu vekuHome Affairs kuti vape munhu iyeye birth certificate just like that. Nekuti kupa mapepa aya kune mutemo wazvo, kune nzira dzadzo. Asi isusu inini former MP wekupelana Mamboboma ndakabatsira vanhu vakawanda sterek kuti vawane mapepa iwawo. Takutonyora maaffidavit nezvimwe kuti kutopupurira vanhu vavo dai munhu tomuziva for sure angaenda kuSouth Africa zvikadai vanozobhadharisa kuti mafaini. I can't remember kuti faini yacho yanga iri mari, asi vakawanda vakagumisira vawana mapepa iwawo, mabirth certificates evana vavo nezvitupa zvavo and stuff like that. So it's not like kuti ZANU-PF inoda kudzivirira vanhu kuti vawane mapepa. Tinotoda kuti vanhu vawane mapepa ivavo varejistewo kuvhota. Ndosaka ndati inini ndichitangisa bapa izvezvi tichitaura so tiri kuita macell to cell, door to door, tichiongorora kuti nhengo dzedu dzese dziri registered kuti dzese dzivhote, nekuti game repolitics at the end of the day igame rekuvhoterana. Saka kana tikatarisa vanhu kuwane mapepa tinozobuda neipapo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chuma. Stay on the line. Uvaleke pattern yako. Siyakubaba Ntini, Mr. Ntini, you are an independent observer. So tell us about what you think about all this. You heard from Mr. Hlatswayo, now you are hearing from Mr. Chuma. So what's your opinion on this?
My opinion Mr. Du, I think, I'll try to be as brief and let the politicians, fight this one. But when it comes to the voter awareness or voter education, we should be seeing ZEC out there. If ZEC is independent, they should be having campaigns. They should be having mobile voter registrations. I'll use an example. Before I moved to the US, from 1991 to 94, I used to work at the registrar's office at the passport office. There was a time where there was a voter registration whereby we used to go all over the country. We were posted out there for months and months, and we were making good money, just for as a side note. And people would come, we're attracting people that had no birth certificates, people that had no IDs. What Mr. Chuma is talking about, the affidavits, people who come with a witness, like an elderly person, to say, yes, this is my child because the father died during Kukraundi or other, issues. And we'll issue those people birth certificates, they'll go on to get IDs and they'll get passports, and they can register to vote. So that's what I think needs to happen. The government needs to have that kind of initiative to go all over the country, be accessible to people. Don't expect someone to come from, Veja to travel all the way to Eskodini to register. When they arrive at Eskodini, guess what? They may find the offices closed and they go back. Are they going to come back the following day? They won't. So the government or ZEC needs to go out there. We should not leave this to ZANU. We should not leave this to MDCA or any other political party. Yes, they need to energize their best to say, go register to vote. But ZEC, as an independent institution, and the government, they need to provide the funds for mobile registrations to travel all over the country, meet the people where they are. Don't expect people to come to you, because people, one, is during COVID. Two, people don't have money and the means to travel. We hear of many people that actually do travel. When they get to the centers, they find these guys bringing tea and say, oh, we are done for the day, come back tomorrow. But how am I going to, find another $20 to come back tomorrow to register? So that's where the problem is. So, in short, that's like, and what personally as an individual, what I'm doing, there's a lot of kids that I sponsor to go to college at NASC and other places, or even at, high school. The requirement that I have for them to pay for their tuition, show me proof that you have registered to vote. I'm doing the same for my parents. I'm saying, for me to continue doing this, show me proof that you have registered to vote. As a diaspora, yes, we need our diaspora vote, but right now we don't have the diaspora vote. When it comes to opposition parties, I'll expect them to say, yes, we realize we have support in South Africa. Therefore, we are providing 2 buses every weekend or every week to go bring people for free from Botswana, from South Africa, from Zambia to come register. Because we know that political reforms are not going to happen. The diaspora vote is not going to happen. So as the opposition, any opposition in Zimbabwe, what they should be doing, they need to be bringing people to come to Zimbabwe to vote, even if it means they have to fund their transportation means. I'll stop here.
Yes, siyawuzwa kakhulu baba uhlasi nanso indaba phose lakho singakayi kumavelas phose lakho baba.
Okay, Babu Dube, hayi ngiyayizwa indaba ayibayikhuluma abadala. Yeah, I'm on that point as well ukuthi we need to help sifundisa abantu about this thing, ukuthi how can they vote, and the point ekhulunywa ngubaba uNtini lana ukuthi there is a need also, if possible, abantu bathole i-transport to go, the means to go there and register now, and then when it's time, then they are able to go and vote. So this is the time where we really need to really do something about this voting thing. I think I cannot say much. Much has been spoken, and nale mobility uti the ZEC must go into rural areas, and I also benefited from the from this project where Home Affairs was going into rural areas, sakwazi ukuthi sithole izithupha right ezikolweni zethu lapho esifunda khona, sithola ama-birth certificate and all that, so they can ngicabanga uma bengaqhubeka bakwenze lokho ukuze bakwazi ukuthi bafike where so that they can reach those people who are unable to or does not have means to go to the centers to register. That would be great, actually.
Yeah, wonderful, marvelous.
Coming back to you, Mr. Tachwayo, I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you heard Mr. Chuma from ZANU-PF saying, no, MDC Alliance, you're just crying foul. And, you know, he's saying no election was stolen, and the issue of the birth certificates is saying they actually would like people to register because they also need those same registered voters to vote for them.
You know, the ZANU-PF is funny. You know, it's not a serious political party when it comes to delivery. It is only serious when it comes to power retention. You know, as Zimbabweans, you know, they call it blaming. It's not blaming. We are demanding our rights. You know, it's a right for someone to have the registration document. It's a right for every citizen, you know, to be allowed to vote. It's their right to have basic necessities, all those things. So when we are saying it, it's not blaming. You know, it's a government responsibility. And as citizens, we must say it as it is. No, not to be, you know, to be blocked or to be compromised. Opposition. That's the role of the opposition, to tell you that this must be done. This must be done to citizens, and it must be done like this. So if we say it and you call it blaming, then it shows that you are not a serious political party. You attempt to be competent, but you are not a very good copper. You know, we need a society with a strong opposition. We need a society with a strong alternative, and the alternative is MDC Alliance. You know, we are not like those people. You know, the problem we have in Zimbabwe is that the ZANU-PF, you know, they want a compromise and submissive opposition political party. You know, no. We want things to be done properly, and we'll say it as it is because we represent the interest of many Zimbabweans. So when it comes to registration, it is very critical. That's why we said even before the limitation process, there must be a blitz to register people so that the limitation process will be done based on actual figures, based on the contemporary figures gathered by statistics, you know. So that's why we are saying that we need a country that is tolerant. I am very happy that my brother, Comrade Chuma, is saying that tolerance, you know, they must look for a very good definition of tolerance. But intolerance, it started with them. They are the ones who don't tolerate different views from them. They are the ones who say, if I demand something, you are blaming and you are anti-government, you are not patriotic, and so forth. It shows that they are not tolerant. So that's what we are saying. We need a tolerant society. We need a society that works together. We need a Zimbabwe that is one. And to cure all the problems that we are facing as a country, we must have an election that is credible, an election that is peaceful, not this commandeering. You know, commandeering, we command in agriculture, we command in elections, we command in the economy, we command in transport, we command in everything. We command in registration of people. We must do that. We are very much aware that even, you know, the apathy, you know, people not going to vote. That's what they want. That's what they want. Because there will be they will have a lot of tactics, you know, to rig, you know, when the figures are small, you know, they can play around the figures. So we want, as Zimbabweans, you know, let's come together, let's mobilize each other as citizens. We want the government in place, you know, to make sure that the registrar offices, are open for everyone. He is better. He is from Popoma, which is an urban setting, and the registration centers, they're nearby. Talk about people in Binga, talk about people in Chipinge, my rural area. You need to travel more than 100 kilometers to get to the registrar office. Where do people get that amount, that money for travel and etc. A family, because if it is about birth certificates, you need to ferry everyone. We receive a lot of complaints. We receive a lot of demands and claims from various people, who need assistance. It's not about those people who went to South Africa or to Botswana. It's about those people who are here in Zimbabwe, who have never been in South Africa, who have never been in Mozambique, who have never been in Zambia, but they are here in Zimbabwe. But because of the setup, because of where they are, they cannot access offices, or registration offices. So we need to look at that. My brother, who was working for registrar, they spent just 2 days. At a place, 2 days, 1 day, back then, and birth certificate for people to get birth certificate. Panama interviews, interviews to be carried out and so forth, and it needs time, and they will be honest. And some of them, they will not be very friendly because now did that, and so forth. But because they are honest, they've got targets and so forth, next and so forth. So we have those challenges, and it's a right for a citizen, to have those documents. And if a government, presides over a country with people without those documents, it's not encouraging. We were in Chilonga the last time with the Vice President of the United States. People were talking about that. Because even Masai Sai, network is not there. They receive network from Mozambique, from South Africa, because there is no communication, no one. So those are the challenges.
Yeah, let's bring in Choma.
We're talking about the real challenges, as roads and so forth, networks and so forth. So people are getting it difficult to get those basic documents. But we are saying, as a people, we must come together, we must converge, we must confront the enemy. The enemy of the people is known. The enemy of progress is known. The enemy of development is known. And we are ready to make sure that we fight and make and build one Zimbabwe, a Zimbabwe which is a product of the people, not of the ruling elite or cartels.
Yes. Mr. Chuma, can you chip in there?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gibbs. Yes, my brother is trying by all means to go out all the way to vilify and demonize us. But like I said before, there is a very clear system of how people must acquire IDs, birth certificates, and stuff like that. And now I can say to him easily, show me one person who was born here in Zimbabwe in any one of our facilities, be it Mpilo, Hospital, Parenyat, or even at home, but who then followed the proper procedures, who has been hindered from accessing those documents with ease. I know for a fact at Mpilo Central Hospital there, the moment you give birth in there, the process of getting a birth certificate for that child is so easy that you even get it right there at Mpilo without even having to go to Gomsiteli or some other office outside that complex. You actually get everything there. As much as even if we talk about the death certificates and the burial orders and stuff like that, you actually get them within that hospital there. So things have been made easy for everybody. But like I said, we have some of our citizens who do abnormal things and then expect things to be normal, and yet we will have put guidelines and parameters of how things should be done. But then again, I went on to say that government is out there again trying to then assist and correct those mistakes that those citizens would have had on themselves, on their own. But government is saying, okay, fine, let's assist each other. And then that is where the issue of affidavits came in. And even in rural areas, I know that chiefs, Nana Sabugu, have that power as well to actually witness that this child is a child that we know from this area, and therefore they can be given the birth certificates and the national IDs and stuff like that. So all these are efforts and signs that government is not sitting on its laurels, but rather it wants to then correct the mistakes that people will have made on their own. So I do not know where then one can say that everything is supposed to be blamed on ZANU-PF or government. Yet I have simply explained logistics and things that are there, which any one of us here can prove by going to any hospital and see that is there anybody who can have difficulties in accessing these documents as long as they have done things the proper way. That is all I am talking about. And as for reforms and all that, we will argue and argue, but like I said, this is not about rigging. This is not about anything. Because if it was about rigging, why are we not rigging the urban seats, all of them like this? We are losing in Bulawayo, we are losing in Harare, we are losing in Masingo, Gweru, all towns, if I may just say. We are losing in all those towns. Why are we not rigging in those towns to get seats at least? Because, like, for example, in Bulawayo, we only got one seat, and that one seat, we got it also by default because the MTC had fielded two candidates there, and they split that vote. Even in Harare, the seat that was won there by Honorable Collins Munangagwa was also because of MTC pitting two candidates there, and so it was by default. So, in essence, we can simply say that we are losing almost all seats in urban centers, and here we are. We were supposed to be the masters of rigging. So why are we not rigging seats in these urban centers? And these urban centers have the elite of ZANU-PF actually. It is the people that are actually running ZANU-PF, I mean, per se. So why are we not rigging these seats to remain in parliament, to remain in councils and stuff like that?
Thank you.
How are we a rigging master if we're failing to do a simple thing like that? That's why I said, I'm an example. I was beaten in Pelanda Mampopoma, and I congratulated the MDC guy who won. This is how politics must play out, not this selfishness of saying, if it's not me, then it can never be anybody else. It is wrong.
Siyabonga babuchuma baba Hlase amafutshane sibili ungathi nxa ungavaliswa abantu lapha kuna ngabatshela khona.
What I can say, I'm very thankful. We had a very good discussion today. I would like to encourage Abantu Guti, let us try by all means to go and register to vote. Our votes counts and it will make a difference. Let us, wherever we are, let us help those who are in need, especially here at Tinala, the diaspora who are here in SA. Let us help each other. Let us not be involved in doing ezokanga and all that. Let us be disciplined people. And God will help us. He will bless us.
Thank you very much, Babu. Usan Busontini, Babu.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Dube, and thank you, that was marvelous. My last words, I'll encourage Zach to reach out to the people. I'll encourage the state to provide mobile registrations. People need to be met where they are and not expect them to travel with the money that they don't even have. Let's reach out to the people, get them registered. The diaspora vote, I know it's a dicey one for the ruling party because most of the diaspora people will vote for the opposition, but we want our vote as the diaspora. We are paying taxes, we are keeping the economy afloat. We need our vote.
On that note, I think we've come to the end of our show today. We thank our guests this evening, Mr. Joseph Chuma of ZANU-PF. He's a Central Committee member of the ruling party. Mr. Nkosinathi Hlase, who is a political activist based in Johannesburg. Mr. Clifford Tlachwayo, who is in the MTC Alliance, and Mr. Busani Busontini. Wish to thank you all for joining our show today, and we hope you are going to join another show before the end of the week. And signing off from Washington, this is Kip Stube saying good night, Zimbabwe. And I hope, Marvelous, you're okay there because you are very bubbly today, and we like it.
I'm very good, actually. I was excited today because we managed to get Mr. Hlachwayo on the on the show. So I'm really that you know, and Mr. Chuma, to have that kind of banter, it's you know, it actually does inform our listeners. So I'm excited about that. So just a word again to Tenda Hlachwayo, vangavane super chirongwa Hlachwayo motaura ke kupedzisira mubva maenda yenyu.
Time has hit us very hard, Marvelous. I think we'll end up having some overtime. Yeah.
Zvakanaka saka tichangoti kune vese vakatitarisa ngatisanganei paLet's Talk ngatikurukirei mangwana paFacebook page yedu pano paVOA Shona. Muve nezuva rakanaka kwamuri ikoko.
Good night. This is Gibbs Dube. Bye-bye.